Dan picked up an old newspaper with a missing person notice. Strangely, the girl in the newspaper looked the same as she did when she was a child. They were even the same age. But Dan couldn't remember her missing at all. She rushed home to ask her dad, but it said he'd never lost her. Dan opened the photo album. She found no pictures of her before she was 7, and she was dressed like a boy. Dan saw a picture of her dad holding her when she was born. That means she's his daughter. But why did Dad hide something from her? With questions in mind, she and Jae-in went to the police station to find out the truth. But the missing persons file was torn up and only the last page was left. The police officers in charge of the case was killed that year. They had to go to the girl's guardian's address, but the address was on an island. What's weird is that Jae-in's sister had been to this island before, but when she came back, she was killed. Is there a secret on the island? They decided to go to the island to find out. But when they arrived at the island, the residents said they didn't know the girl, but they knew the girl's guardian. They were kind enough to show them the way. Jae-in felt something was wrong. Right after they left, the residents were giving weird looks. When they arrived at the location, they found the house empty. The house was covered with thick dust. There were no children's things there either. Were the residents lying to them? They were about to book a room at a bed and breakfast. An old man was sitting in the doorway. Strangely, the old man seemed to know Dan, but Dan didn't know the old man at all. Then the owner of the bed and breakfast arrived. He said the old man was his mother. She's got Alzheimer's. She says she knows everyone she sees. So it was just an accident. Afterwards, they went to their room to rest. The owner brought them a towel. There was a note in it. It says to get off the island. Jae-in and Dan didn't plan to leave. They were going to stay for one night before leaving. At night, Jae-in saw a white shadow passing by the window, and the white shadow stole his shoes. He was scared. When he heard the noise, Dan came over immediately. Although he was scared, Jae-in was still very curious. He shivered as he looked for the white shadow, but they realized it was the old man holding his shoes. After taking the old man to the room, they asked him about the missing child. The old woman called out the name of the missing girl right away, but when she was about to tell the truth, the residents suddenly appeared. They took her away by force. Even more bizarrely, the old woman drowned on the beach the next day. Was she murdered to silence her?